I, of course, have to not mute my mic. Very good. All right, then let's start over, shall we? Hello, everybody. Welcome to, of course, a very good title Tuesday. I figured there was something wrong. I was more or less put in the spot here last minute, so hopefully everything is fine. I will recheck everything's okay, and of course, now I know you guys can hear me. The mic buttons are green, so it's all good. Anyway, we're here down, of course, for an exciting new Title Tuesday tournament. Like on every Tuesdays, only titled players are allowed in this kind of tournament, and of course, the players are already starting because I screwed up the mic thing. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about the format before we start. Here we go. The format is 11 round Swiss every Tuesday at 10 a.m. PDT or 19 CEST time. And the time control is 3 minutes plus 1 second increment. And the tie breaks, they're almost always are tie breaks, are payouts based on Chess.com tie breaks. So there we go. What are the prizes? Well, that's a good question as well. Let's take a look. So the first prize is $750, not too shabby for 2 hours of work. Second place, 400. Third place, 150. Fourth place, 100. And there are also special prizes for best female and best stream. Both get $100. But okay, enough about that. Let's start, of course, with some interesting games. And yeah, let's of course take first a look at Hikaru. Hikaru, always interesting to take a look at, of course. Let's see how he fares. He has the black pieces and he goes for, if I'm not mistaken, this all started with some sort of a modern opening. Hikaru playing very solidly, healthy pawn structure, all pawns on white, dark colored bishops, like you should, like you learn when you are just starting the game. And yeah, one asset that black has is his better pawn structure, but white has got more space at the moment. So it's hard to say who's actually better at this point. Also, the knight wants to jump on f5, but it will get immediately taken off. Also, the bishop doesn't look too great at the moment on g7. So yeah, it's hard to say who's better. I would actually pick white here, I think, because simply the space advantage would I really like that. And also maybe there are some tricks with f5 in the position. So who is he playing against? He's playing against FIDE Master Ilyux 68 from Ukraine. And of course, Hikaru should be the big favorite, but I think he's already struggling a little bit because the rook. Is there a trick in the position? f5 and knight takes? Maybe? Yeah, there you go. If black takes, knight takes f5 actually wins back the rook. And now white has got bishop g5 or takes, and bishop takes f5. I really like white's position now. Actually, fan favorite. Well, that's something I can say, of course. Hikaru is having some problems here. Rook df8, he's still okay. He hasn't lost material yet. But for example, this move might be good. Oh, there you go. Okay, folks, we might see an upset already in round one. Hikaru is not looking too hot at the moment. Queen b5, looking for some tactics, but bishop b7 simply wins the exchange, I think. I know there are lots of other games going on, but I want to stick here. I want to see if Hikaru survives somehow, because this looks horrible. Little tactic here, so black can win at least back a pawn because the white cannot take the bishop because of the queen on f2. But still, it's a full exchange, right? This does not look good. f5 maybe. Okay, Hikaru is going to fight its worth out, of course, but he's also low on time. So really, are we going to see an upset already, everyone? Are we already going to have an upset? That would really surprise me. Like, Hikaru is known. How many times has he won the title Tuesday already? I think uncountable times already, right? So this would be such a huge upset if this was happening. Well, okay, one thing that black is doing. Black is extremely solid. Like, of course, white's two rooks, but black doesn't really have any weaknesses at the moment. So keeping queens on the board is a good decision. Although there are some shenanigans maybe in the chat. Sorry guys, I really want to stay on this in this game. I want to see if Hikaru is actually going to save this somehow. Of course, there are other players and games going on as well. And in the next round, we will take a closer look at those. Right. In the meantime, let's also say hi to some people in the chat. Hello, Super Ginger. Hello, Gamer Fire Blaster. Yeah, I figured out how to read the chat during the stream. While in previous Title Tuesdays, I didn't really know how to do that, but now I do. So, hello, everyone. I'm reading the chat, so don't say anything funky. I'm here to watch you guys. Yep. All right. So, rook takes e8. There is a check, but on a white's to move, of course. So, I would say let the king out to a safe square. Play a3 or a4, for example. Or just play queen e2. Be safe against the checks. Something funky. We got a smart ass over there. Hello, I'm a Suji. Yep. All right. Yeah. So I think Hikaru's got this in the bag, though. He's playing really fast. He's winning a second pawn. If these pawns are going to start marching, then he will be good. Yeah, white rook f8 is a good move, but queen e6 protects against rook queen e8 and the pawn loss. If I were white, I would be happy with a draw here. But yeah, of course, maybe objectively white is still better here, but looking at the time situation, I think Hikaru has got this in the bag. He knows how to play these type of positions so well. So yeah, Hikaru going for a comeback, but he was totally busted at some point. So queen h7. Now Hikaru could maybe go for a draw, but he sticks with the plan. Queen h8. Okay, white needs to play fast, of course. How to continue though? f5 or g5 are both really risky moves to play. So he needs to be careful. Good move. He wants to try and get the king. Okay, threatening mate in 1. Maybe he doesn't see it. He sees it. Okay, as expected, of course. Queen c8, trying to trade queens. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Well, the king is far away, so it's easier to attack the pawns. But still. 9 seconds on the clock. Remind you, there's 1 second increment for each move, which is not a lot. So it does matter to keep more time on the clock than your opponent. Now Hikaru has got 20 seconds. So Hikaru is definitely in the driver's seat. And now he can start marching. The queen is firmly in control on e4. Okay, it moves it back. Oh, and now the rook is trapped. Still, you win a pawn, but the rook looks so... I was gonna say something weird, but that's so bad on a4. Yeah, and resignation. Oh no, he won by timeout. Yeah, there you go. Time, a really important factor, everyone. And Hikaru, how do you say? By a hair's thread, if I'm not mistaken, goes on with the point. Okay, let's see if we got more. Okay, more results. Bortnik has won his game. Of course, let's check some other players. Christopher Yu has won his game as well. Yeah, of course, this was a long game, so probably I will not find any more games that are still going on. Okay, this game is going on, but it's not really interesting. My countryman, Onno Elgersma, is losing to Blodel, top grandmaster from Russia. Let's see if I can find someone else. Yep, not very interesting. I think Miss Hanik, Mr. Alexei Sarana, I believe, should win this game quite easily. Now, don't play knight e4 because that would be a stalemate. Yeah, very nicely done. Okay. Okay, so let's check standings as well. It's not updated at the moment. So, okay, I probably made a mistake in doing this. I think the board will be a little different right now, but here we go. I'm going to update it. Yeah, probably it's going to be green at the moment. Or not. Oh, maybe I actually did a good job. There you go. There you go. Oh no, it turned green. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, very good. Okay, but the standings are updated right now. As you can see, Hikaru won, Bortnik won, Chopper won, Giga Kuparatse won. So it's all not a lot of surprises for the moment. We still have a few games going on, I believe. We still have this game between Lider 34 and Vladislav Kovalev from Belarus. Kovalev, top grandmaster, I would say. Yeah, but Kovalev should win this. The bishop can return to f3. These pawns are well advanced. And actually, the bishop is covering both the pawns, so this should be over. Yeah, it should be over. Okay, now the queen's going to be mated. More than enough seconds on the clock, I would say. Last game still going on. And mates. All right. So yeah, about the games. Yeah, of course, after round 4 and round 8, everybody, we have a small break for the players. They've got a 5-minute break or 6-minute break. And after round 4 and round 8, we will also go for a quick break then. So you can expect it. All right, so round 2 should start any minute now. And of course, let's start with... Actually, who didn't we check just yet? We've taken a big look, of course, at Hikaru. Let's take a look at the number 2 on the board, which is Alexander Bortnik. And this is something I really like to see, of course. Everybody who's a sub to my channel on Twitch, spam those F5 emotes because we've got a Dutch on our hands. And Bortnik plays with c6 and a5, which is something you don't see very often. Well, which is actually it's a new variation which you see very often nowadays. Yeah, the idea is you want to play e5 at the moment, so rook e8 and queen c7 is going to come on the board, I'm expecting. The bishop is quite annoying. That's why I'm saying that the rook should move to e8. Otherwise, you cannot play e5. But on the other hand, you also have a move like knight b4 in this position, just to block it down and then try to play e5. e5 is definitely the move that you want to go for here, while white wants to play e4 to get control over the e-file and make sure that e5 never is coming into play. Exciting stuff. King h8, also an interesting move with the idea to put the bishop on g8 so that development will be completed. And yeah, if the king was here and black played bishop e6, white could have played knight g5. So that development is a little awkward. Knight e4, stopping rook e1, interesting move. Queen c2, very solid. You could say, yeah, knight b4, very solid as well. All right, this is an interesting game. We might come back to this one. But I also want to check a few other games as well. Like, I'm trying to find the winner of last week. But he's not in one of the top games, unfortunately. Let's check. Well, let's just go through them by order then. Let's check Choppa, who's playing with of course, the white pieces here. And this was a Rui Lopez opening with knight d7 on the 9th move, I suppose. No, first bishop b7, but knight d7 eventually came. Yeah, a complicated position, very rich here. Yeah, so GM battle already in round 2. Bishop h6, white wants to play for tricks on the dark squares, which always makes sense. Black has got good dark square domination, as actually these dark squares could make for a nice entry point on d3. So white does actually need to be careful. One problem is the bishop, which doesn't do a lot in this position. Blocked by the pawn chain d5 and e4. Okay, what I'm predicting is black. It's going to be a dark square battle. Black needs to keep control over these squares, make sure there's no entry point like queen h6. And yeah, if black can make sure that doesn't happen, then black should be good. Okay, lots of interesting games going on, everyone. Let's check another fan favorite, I would say. Benjamin Bock, playing with the white pieces. And he's just entered his army. No, let's not make comparisons like that. On c7, it's a double attack. Actually, I think Benjamin Bok is going to win at least an exchange. In this case, maybe even more, because after knight takes, you cannot take back because the piece is hanging on e7. Looking good for Benji. Yeah, also streamer on Twitch, so he's also in the running for the streamer prize. Let's take a look at the next one. Actually, the top rated female, if I'm not mistaken. No, and now I lost the game. Very good job, Roland. Okay, let's move on to the next one then. Alexei Sarana, playing with the white pieces against Potapova. Oh no, this is actually the game I was I was looking for. Potapova, the top rated female, I think, in this. So she has a good chance to win the female prize. She is in a bit of trouble though. Yeah, losing a second pawn, I believe. So this is looking pretty good for black, Mr. Alexei Sarana. Top grandmaster, close to 2700 FIDE rating, I believe. So yeah, he should be favored to go through. White is looking for some counterplay here, which is of course very good. b5, but yeah, black has a very good knight, and these pawns are just going to march. All he needs to do is protect against certain tactics in the position. So also a lot more time on the clock, as you guys can see, 1 minute and 37 seconds against 0 for 23. But yeah, the white square domination. The queen is nicely covering the only weakness in the position, which is f7. So I'm expecting black to have not a lot of problems here. Okay, moving on to the next game. Let's find something. Yeah, let's go to the American youth player, Christopher Yu. Let's see how he's doing. Of course, I jump in a really uninteresting moment. He's just about to win. So yeah, just my luck, right? And let's move on. He won quite convincingly, it seems. Let's take a look at Penguin GM, which I think is Andrew Tang. GM Andrew Tang, if I'm not mistaken. Playing against Turayev. Yep, if you have a national master title, you are also able to participate in these events. Black is 3 pawns up, but white has got some initiative here. It's not so easy to prevent this. This looks really interesting, actually. Time difference, not so much. If takes, white can actually blast open the king side. So this is not over by a long shot. There are actually some tactics connected with the queen as well. Some, yeah, like bishop takes c6. 2 pawns up, now down to 1 pawn up for black, but white has got the initiative. This might become an upset, everyone. Bishop d7. Okay, now material is equal. If black wins this pawn, black will be still a pawn up, or now he's a pawn up by taking a4. Let's stick to this game. This looks like a dicey. This looks like to be a very dicey conclusion here. Is that correct English? I had a long day. Yep. Queen takes g6, takes, rook b7. No, why? Okay, yeah, go. No, now the pin is solved. Okay, now another pin, now losing a full rook, and it should be over. Oops, blundering full rook, and I think Penguin GM should close this out quite easily. Yeah, little trick, but well played. This should be over. All right, let's move on to the next game. Let's see if there are still some other games going on. Let's go to Demchenko. Nope, he already lost. Okay, that's an upset. GM Anton Demchenko has lost to Anti-Drone from England. Yeah, so there you go, another upset. So yeah, anything can happen in these Title Tuesdays. Rating is not always, yeah, the significant indicator of how good of a player you are. Yeah, just as GMs can also lose to FIDE Masters and International Masters very often here. That's why the tournament is such a fun to watch, everybody. So yeah, once again, welcome everyone. We are. This is round 2 of the Title Tuesday. If you just tuned in, welcome. I'm checking for the games if we have some games going on still. Right after round 2, we will continue immediately with round 3. And after round 4, the players will have a small break of 5 minutes. And we will have, enough small break for everyone. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Last week 7-1. Indeed, Plominus. Yep, I can read the chat, everybody, so don't say anything mean. I will read it. And anything else? How are you guys doing? Hey, Jackie the Sweet, how are you? Hey, MDMA. Hey, Gamer Fire Blaster. Hello, everyone. Okay, so let's see if there are still some games going on. Yep. Now, there's always a stalemate potential here, but yeah, white should be. If you take, don't take with the pawn. Of course. Yeah, okay, this could be tricky. He has 3 seconds left, black. White has got 8, but he is nicely exchanging the rook, so now it should be a lot more easy to win this. Yeah, and he wins. This is probably the last game going on. So Yashasht from India is going to be together with all the other titled players that have got 2 out of 2 in this Title Tuesday event. Very well done. And like I said, round 3 should be starting any moment now. We're going to continue with this action-packed event. Yes. All right. Eval bar, I don't like eval bar, so I'm gonna do it without. Yes. Eval bars can spoil the position sometimes for me, so I like to do it without. I mean, it's easy to do that, but it's more fun to get the mystery out of there. So that's my take on it. I didn't get any orders from Chess.com, so I'm just gonna do how I like to do it. Okay, let's take a look. Round 3 has started, and we're going to take a look at Onishuk. Onishuk has played a lot of times in these Title Tuesdays, so he's always a contestant for the prize here. And it's a very solid Scottish opening, I believe. Always dangerous as well. So we've got a player, Skanerdien, I haven't heard of him, from Mongolia. A new international master participating. Looking good, taking an initiative, attacking the queen. Maybe he doesn't see it, but okay, grandmaster, so he sees it. A4, maybe he doesn't see it. Of course he sees it. He's going to play A6. Come on, don't leave me hanging here. A6, come on. Help a fellow streamer out. I don't know if he's streaming actually, but help me out. Play A6. Actually, you could also allow a. There you go. Okay, he didn't leave me hanging. There you go. Okay. Yeah, one drawback is, of course, white can take, and then the pawn structure is destroyed. So actually, the opening went really well for Mr. Skanerdien. Not looking too hot there. Okay, moving right along. A lot of other players are, of course, participating. Let's go to Sergei Sigalko, also from Belarus, playing against Vuk 2000 from Serbia, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And Sergei Sigalko has won many tournaments as well, so he's always a contender for the Title Tuesday. Sometimes it's hard to talk when you had a long day. Maybe a step of water will help. This is a really interesting position. Who's better and why? Black can play f5, e4, hopefully. Rook d8, attacking the bishop, so white cannot take on e5. The bishop needs to move. Probably back to f1, or knight d6, but after knight d6, f5, e4 is possible. Yeah, because the knight cannot attack e5 anymore 3 times. So f5, I'm expecting, followed by e4. And I think Zigalko is in a good spot. And boom! This caster is on fire. I'm predicting moves. Boys, let's go. E4. Come on. Come on. It's good. Come on. Okay. No, don't leave me hanging. E4 should. Come on. It's good. Or bishop d5, I suppose, but e4 looks devastating. Like after e4, white needs to take, knight d4, but look at that pawn, those pawns. Those are look really amazing. There you go. All right, moving right along. My ego is satisfied. Okay, let's go to Tiger. Yeah, let's go to Tiger, which is of course Mr. Gatakamsky from the USA, the famous freaking legend himself. Queen b3, who's better and why? I would say whites, but it's not that apparent. Okay, white has got a better pawn structure, but you can also play after a move like knight c4. The pawn has its uses, and black actually also has a target on b2. Knight g4, g3 could also be good, but you don't want to exchange too many pieces here. You do want to get some counterplay in here as black. In these isolated pawn positions, you do want to keep as many light pieces on the board. That's the rule of thumb. So yeah, you do need to get some counterplay in somehow. But if the knight is passive on f6, then I would definitely say that white has the advantage. White has the pressure. How to continue is something that technical players... I would play maybe queen a3, rook e7. Try to get that in there. f3 though. Okay, that nicely blocks out the knight, but the bishop is also blocked. Maybe bishop h3 or bishop f1. Queen b4, okay. Okay, yeah, rook e7 is the idea, but I don't know. This is gonna be a long grind, I feel, for Mr. Gatakamsky. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Becca, playing with the white pieces against Viktor Kliarov from Ukraine. A lot of new names. Of course, time flies when you're having fun. Lots of new interesting players to take a look at. And okay, white is better. White has the better bishop, but the question is how to continue. I would say at some point you do want to open up a file somehow for the rook. But yeah, I mean, black's position is extremely solid, so this is going to be a grind as well. I have no idea how to grind this out to win. If you over push, you can lose a pawn, which is undefended as well. Rook c1, rook c7, they're repeating moves a little bit. Would you take? Put the king here, play bishop f5. It could win, actually, to put the king here. Maybe g5, but I would just put the bishop here, I believe. Maybe even take. Nah, not take. Yeah, like king d6, would you take? I don't think you want to take. You do, okay. So after f takes, how do you continue? g5, I suppose. This is an interesting endgame, guys. If you guys don't mind, I would like to stick to this one because I have a hard time figuring out if this is actually winning or a draw. F takes, king takes. You can also play king e7, but f takes, king takes, e5 looks like a draw to me. Yeah. Takes. White's faster, but black has a queen as well. So I think this should be a draw. Yeah. Was an interesting choice though. That is why I said it's hard to play for to win such an endgame where you have only one or two how do you say weaknesses to play against, and it's king e4. Okay, yeah, the king can come to d3 and c2, so white will not win the queen. Yeah, it should be a draw. The king is too far away. This king joins the action on the king side. So this should be a draw. Yeah, should be a draw. All right, moving on. Let's see if there are other people still playing. Oh, Rasmus Svane won in a very complicated game, it seems, but nice attack. Mate on c2 cannot be stopped, it seems. So Rasmus Svane Also on free, out of free. Let's see if we still have some interesting games. Penguin won his game as well against Buffy. Fighter also won. I'm trying to find a game that's still going on, guys. So yeah. Okay, there's an update. Rook endings. Let's stick with non-interesting rook endings, shall we? No, moving right along. This is a draw. And that's that. Let's take a look at fan favorite GM Krikor. Oh, dang it. Okay, that's harsh. He missed mates in one and time trouble. Yeah, it might have been winning already if he didn't see it because the bishop is stuck. So I think GM Krikor is doing well. Co-commentator, by the way, I think he covered the St. Louis tournament together with Daniel Rensch. So definitely a good player and a very nice guy. Everybody give him a follow on Twitch. Okay. Now this is crazy. Parhamov, of course, a very hard name to pronounce. Parham Maksutlu from Iran is winning his game. He won the Title Tuesdays also many times. So he should be able to get to 2 out of 3. He actually did not win all his games just yet. He's got 2 out of 3. He will win this one as well. And moving right along. I'm now clicking on random games, guys. We now have El Franco from Indonesia, not Poland, I believe. Yeah, oh, Singapore. Okay. Ah, this is a cool thematical endgame. This is actually a draw, but white cannot win. Black has the good bishop here, and the king is in the corner, so you cannot get that ever out. It's a draw. Yeah, but yeah, if you guys want to learn, this game is a draw. So if you ever get into an endgame like this, you can make sure that it's a draw. Azikom from Azerbaijan. Trying his heart out, of course. You never know, there might be a mouse slip. And yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's the life of a commentator, everyone. Sometimes it's just boring endgames. Like I can already how do you say predict. I can predict that we will get a rook versus rook ending, and somebody will get rook versus knight ending, and somebody will get flagged. Okay, one game going on still. So yeah, this is what I meant. We will get a rook versus knight ending, which is a draw. And there we go. Okay, all games are finished. I will update the standings, don't worry. But yeah, I have trouble updating that, unfortunately. Like I said, I was in here last minute, so here we go. Now it should be updated if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I was brought in last minute, so I have some trouble with setting everything up correctly. There you go. So we've got 1977 Ivan. We've got Chess W, Chess DJW. We've got Nemegayas. That's a hard name to pronounce. Durai Bailey, Hikaru, of course, Sergey Sigalko, and a lot of top grandmasters still here with 3 out of 3. Let's move on. So, like I said, everybody, after round 4, we are going on a small break. I'll try to sort out the how do you call it, the updating of the standings. Should be an easy fix, so I'll get into that during the break. But let's now get back to, of course, Mr. Hikaru. Playing the Kola system, I believe, with the bishop on b2. This is called the Kola system. How about Kamsky's favorite rook plus king versus rook plus king and no pawns? Yep. We will see that more often, not only by Kamsky, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so what's going on here? We've got Baki, which I think is Etienne Bakro. If I'm checking the picture closely, good enough. And against GM Hikaru, who's better in white? White's got a big hole on e4. It's got a very nice pawn, well, more or less a protected pass pawn on c4. So the question is, what's happening here? If the knight can jump to e4, which, okay, well done by white, preventing that. But now black can play b4 and c3, which creates a protected pass pawn. I think black is doing really well here, actually. Like, white wants to get initiative going with f5, but the dark squares, in the end, black can maybe play something like bishop f8 and bishop g7 as a defensive maneuver. But yeah, look at this. It looks really, really cramped for white at the moment. So can Hikaru actually save himself from another, hard, tough position? Ah, you're right, Emo Suji. Yeah, that was the FFL moment indeed. I remember that. Very good. Okay. Yeah, so once again, hi everyone. Welcome if you just joined. We are right into the action. 3 rounds have been played. And after the 4th round, we're going on a small commercial break where the players can have a little rest and we can sort out the pairings as well. So white is desperately to try and create something, but it's for sure that black is here in the driver's seat. Yeah, like black has got a very nice pawn here on c3. The bishop on c1 is basically buried forever. How can it ever get out? I'm thinking of a Lord of the Rings quote for some reason, but okay, never mind. Okay, sacrificing the exchange. Is that really necessary? Like, it's Petrosian, of course, the famous, no, not the famous FL. Petrosian, the former world champion, of course, would be happy to see this. Like, he would be honored. But on the other hand, was it necessary to do this? Like, the bishop was a strong piece, and this piece is still basically dead. How to continue? Like, that's the question. Black is firmly in control, but how to continue? Okay, white is saying, I have a dead piece. I want to grab your pawn instead, but still. Grabbing this pawn maybe, play h3. The knight coming to d5. This is looking like terrible position for Hikaru still. I think we're gonna see a loss. I think we're gonna see Hikaru lose here, unfortunately. Etienne Bacro, don't forget about Etienne. He played very well in the World Cup, lost against Magnus Carlsen 2-0, unfortunately, but a really strong player. Has been the second, I think, of Maxime Vachier-Lagrave for a long time. If I'm not mistaken, I don't dare to say that with 100% certainty, but definitely something a player to always worry about. Hikaru up on the clock, for sure. But look at the domination. The knight is a beast. Look at the g-file. Knight takes e3, already wins a pawn. Queen g3, very solid. Just grab that thing later. But what's more, white has no passed pawns. So white will struggle to get something going here. Maybe a small mistake to take so early because you could lose the e4 pawn, but rook c8, rook c5. Yeah, the game is not over, everyone. Actually, black made a mistake. Now white has got all the pawns for him to grab, and the c pawn is gonna march. Something went terribly wrong here. Wait, let's take a look. Actually, I think it all started with this. Rook e1, and black tried to play it tactically with rook c8. But here, does he still have a chance? Like, if you have to take, it's over. So, what does he do? I think knight takes e3 was a mistake. Or rook c8 was probably a mistake. I think he should have waited. I think he should have played maybe rook g5, get the rook in, and then take on e3. So that the e4 pawn stays alive. Yeah, let's go to the live position. And the live position is this one. Black fighting for his life. But yeah, these 3 pawns should march over the board. Yeah, is this pawn can cover up the c6 square. Put your pawns on white, then white should be winning. And also 1 minute up on the clock. And white won by resignation. Well, yeah, once again by a hair's thread. Is that correct? All right, let's move on to the number 2. Alexander Bortnik playing against Manticore from Kazakhstan. I know my flags. That's Kazakhstan. Let's go. Yep, B6. So yeah, all the Olympia geography lessons really helped. Yeah. Bortnik is. I'm trying to get the Manticore joke in there, but I don't know. Yeah, he's in dire straits, I believe. Look at a pawn and an exchange down. So Bortnik is in trouble. Probably bound to lose. Also, not more time on the clock. Yeah, just take everything off the board. The pawn ending is easily winning. Okay, moving right along. Manticore joining the 4 out of 4 group. Yeah, let's hope I'm a little lucky today. Yeah, Crystal for you against what was his name again? Chess DJW. I think this is Dimitri Kollars, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, from Germany. Yeah, so guys, if I don't know somebody's name, please forgive me, and you guys can help me, of course. Say the name in the chat. I think this is Dimitri Kollars with the black side. But yeah, he's losing. He has a losing position, but the position, look at this. 2 minutes versus 2 seconds versus 2 seconds. Rook c7 is the killer blow. Rook a7 is mate. There you go. Crystal for you, the big talent from America, joining the 4 out of 4. It's Dennis Wagner. All right, thank you. Thank you for that correction. I'm only human. I don't know everyone. Let's go to Moro 182. I think that's Luca Moroni, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Winning his game with black. And what else? What else? Come on. Snow Lord? Snow Lord. The Lord has lost. He didn't have the Lord with him, so the Lord lost. Okay. Moving right along. Wonderful time. Is not having a wonderful time. He lost. He got mated. Yeah. Okay, Dmitry Maximov. I know his name. His name is Dmitry Maximov. Ha! I know my Chess.com names. Playing against Rasmus Svane. Yes. There you go, guys. I know the nicknames here on Chess.com. Yeah. So yeah, black can make an easy draw with f3 and g4 and g3, but for some reason he did not go for that. And if he plays f3 now, it's a losing pawn ending. So yeah, how do you do this? f3 now is okay, but you need to exchange the last pawn. Yep, and there you go. White has a winning pawn ending. Suddenly, I think Maximov had a few occasions where he could get the draw, but he didn't go for it. And now he bites the dust for Rasmus Svane. All right, everyone. Let's go. Do we have someone still playing? I'm trying to find the last few games, everyone. And I'll update the standings right now. Yeah, I know it looks a bit strange to see a green board for a second there. But there you go. Let's take a quick look at the standings and then we'll go to a break. So Hikaru's, Zigalgo, Penguin GM, some of the favorites and fan favorites, let's not correct myself there, are still firmly in the lead with 4 out of 4. And that's my cue, everyone. So we've got a 5-minute break. We'll be back after that with more Title Tuesday action. Don't go anywhere, but if you want to walk your dog, now's the time. See you in a bit, everybody. time not muted. That's tough. Alright, in that case, let's continue. Hello everyone, and we are back. I forgot to mute myself. Yeah, I didn't say anything bad. No, I did not say anything bad about the chat, for example. I know. Okay, so yeah, welcome back everyone to more of Title Tuesday. We are now getting into round 5. And as you can see, there are some famous players still in the running for first prize. Talking about prizes, um, actually, let me show you guys what the first prizes are actually. So here we go. The first prize is $750. That's what everybody's fighting for. Second place gets $400. Third place gets $150. Not too shabby as well for 2 hours work. Fourth place gets $100. Best female gets $100. And the best streamer also gets $100. Yeah, and I believe it's so that if you get one prize, then you don't get another. So let's say Hikaru becomes first in the overall standings. He doesn't get the stream prize, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, then let's take a look once again at the format. So here we go. The format is 11 rounds. Like I said, we are now on round 5. And the schedule is that every Tuesday we have this Title Tuesday. So every Tuesday, if you have nothing to do, you can at least look at this Title Tuesday event. The time control is 3 minutes plus 1 second increments. So there are a lot of hectic time scramble phases. And the tie breaks, the payout is simply based on the Chess.com tie breaks. All right. I will not keep you waiting. You all, of course, are here to see some chess. So let's move on to the games. And let's start with actually 2 players that we haven't yet taken a look at, but who also have 4 out of 4, are Andreyka and Fandorin. Fandorin is Mr. Chigayev from Russia, top grandmaster playing against another top grandmaster from Russia. Yeah. So who's better and why here? I would say white has the better pawn structure. But yeah, there are some exchanges coming. And actually black loses an exchange now because the bishop is attacked and also the rook. And if you have the chance, then you want to give up the rook for the bishop instead of a full bishop. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure if it's worth actually winning the exchange because black has the bishop pair in a fairly open position. So black has very, very decent compensation here. Yeah, this could be a really interesting game to follow. And once again, this could maybe end up in a book about exchange sacrifices. But yeah, I'm wondering how black is going to play this. I think black should at least keep the rooks on the board so that rooks and bishops are known to work very well together. Actually, that's something that I've mentioned to a student of mine today. So yeah, rooks and bishops, keep the rooks on the board. You have a better time. D4, knight a4. Doesn't that simply lose a pawn now? Well, you can play queen d8 still, but that looks a bit awkward because the knight can jump into c5 and make sure that these 2 pawns are not connected. So I would say that Andreyka is firmly in the driver's seat here. Yeah, it's not over yet. These bishops could become very, very dangerous. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Which one haven't we checked yet? We haven't checked Abhijit Gupta, one of the strongest player in India, who is a full-time coach as well, if I'm not mistaken. Gupta and me we've played some tournaments together. Very nice guy. I think he got married maybe a year or so back, or 1.5 years ago. So he must be feeling good. And okay, he has 4 out of 4 playing against Alex Ostrovsky. If I'm not mistaken, he's known to be a blitz master, known for his blitz plays. So tough opponent for sure. Who's better and why? White is 2 pawns, so I would say white. And those pawns are looking pretty juicy. They have already run over the board quite far. So I would say white is having a good position here. Looks like a tough task for Ostrovsky, but he can still try to maybe get some kingside attack going. if that's possible, because white has got that firmly covered. Okay, looking good for Mr. Gupta from India. Next game I want to check was another player who has gotten a lot of good results in Title Tuesdays. Mr. I was gonna say Mr. Kutsubov, Mr. Yuri Kutsubov, and for some reason I had the name Christopher mixed in that one as well. Mr. Kutsubov. Okay, how is it looking for him? Well, he's a pawn down at the moment. If he wins this back, b2 is hanging, so I would say black is actually better here. Also, creating a hole on this diagonal might bite him in the buttocks at some point. But yeah, the question is, does black have enough winning chances here? Because, yeah, h5, h4, he's gonna lose this pawn. And if he loses this pawn, winning chances have slimmed down considerably. Bishop e4 to stop knight f5. c6 though. If white takes, black is going to play knight f5. If anyone is better, it's definitely black. Which is Crystal for you. Not Mr. for you, Crystal for you. Being mysterious again. Okay, never mind. Yeah, and now he firmly took the lead with the pawn. The pawn is saved. So black is definitely better. Also more time on the clock. Kutsubov has 5 seconds left. Crystal for you. Who also participated in the Speed Chess Championship, by the way. So he definitely has some practice down in the Blitz section. He's looking good. Crystal for you is looking good. Moving on to which player didn't we take a look at yet? Which player shall we look? Okay. I lost to him in the World Cup qualifiers, Mr. Alex Shimanov. Let's hope he's a brilliant player so that my loss will feel a lot less painful. Looking good. I mean, he's playing against FIDE Master Erik Ronka from Finland. Strong player. He's up a queen versus 2 bishops versus a rook and a bishop. But still, white has got good counterplay and way more time on the clock. So I would say Shimanov should have good chances to come. Whoa, okay, that's a free queen. Yeah, like I said, good chances. I feel a lot better about my loss in the World Cup qualification. Ooh. Yep, there are no personal interests in this stream, everybody. No, none at all. Okay, let's move on. Ayantari from Norway playing against Attack to Mate You from Canada. Okay, seconds on the clock, so basically players are just playing for time here, I believe. King g3 is a huge achievement. Now black does not have any active possibility. Oh, g3, no, there goes the time. Bishop h3 is already done, or like this, and f1 mates. Oof, Tari won in the end because of steel nerves. If we ever need a Superman emote somewhere, then let's use it for Ayantari, shall we? Yeah, he has the Superman hairdo as well. Okay. Rodel Keeler. Let's move on. Penguin GM. Let's move on. Chopper. Let's move on. It seems that there are not a lot of games left anymore. So with that, we're going to wait, of course, for round 6 to start. And everybody, let's say hi. Hello. I'm reading the chat, by the way, so don't say anything mean. I'll see you. I'll see you. Yeah. Hey, Flamewise. Hey, Super Ginger. Good that you're still here. Hey, Gamer Fire Blaster. Hey, I win against you. All right, that's a confident username. And yeah, hello everyone. Welcome. An absurdly long name. That's indeed an absurdly long name. Yeah, hope you guys are enjoying. I'll update the standings as well. Apparently, we do have a game going still. We have here Shahaliev against Moro, which is Moroni, I believe, and Luca Moroni actually losing, so he stakes on 3 points, 3 out of 5, and Shahaliev is now 4 out of 5 from Azerbaijan. Okay. And that's it. Round 6 has started, so I'll update the standings. I do have to do this still manually. So let's do it like this very quickly. And there we go. So currently in the lead, still Hikaru with 5 out of 5. Then Rodal Kilar from Argentina. Christopher Yu, the magnificent talent from the States. Christopher Yu's from the States. He's not from Sao Tome and Principe. He's not. And yeah, that's the flag of, yeah, he has a country behind. Let me show this to you guys actually. So he's from Sao Tome and Principe. Apparently, that's a country we might see in the Olympiad. I doubt it, but maybe they are participating as well with a team. So there you go. Christopher Yu from Sao. I'm just gonna get so Sao Tome is looking strong. Then of course Sergei Sigalko. I know the overlay is not at the moment very smooth, but here we go. And 12-teen, Sergei Sigalko. Alex Ostrovsky actually won against Abhijit Gupta in that position where he should have a losing position. But well done, Manticore, Andrejka, and of course a lot more players with 4.5. Okay, Hikaru, let's start with that, playing with white. He still plays the Kola system, this structure we've seen once before. So he won against Etienne Bacro, but he was actually losing. So he is the man of, how do you say? The minister. The Minister of Defense is Sergei Karyakin. Then Hikaru is the Secretary of Defense. He's the Secretary of Defense in this tournament so far. He's, successfully defended a few positions already. It's definitely not smooth sailing for Hikaru at the moment. But this looks very smooth. He has a pawn extra. He has an exchange extra, so he should be in the driver's seat here. Also more time on the clock, so there you go. Yeah, lots of exchange sacrifice today as well. Oof, okay, let's go to the player of Sao Tome. Christopher Yu. Here we go. So he's actually from the United States, but for some reason he's got this country behind his name. From Sao Tome. And who's better and why? White has got a nice pawn on d5, but nicely blockaded. I like black actually. Black has got some pressure here. So it looks like Christopher Yu is doing pretty well against Manticore. Yeah. Also, the queen looks way more active here than the queen here. If white can get bishop f1 in there somehow, there could be potential to take over the initiative. But actually, if white takes back on the c-pawn, black is faster on this diagonal. So black is doing good. Black is doing good. Also, slightly more time on the clock, which is important. Sometimes we also are going to take a look at the internet connection that sometimes was a decider. If you guys remember the dramatic moment when Naroditsky was in the lead in the title Tuesday, but his connection dropped out and he unfortunately had to leave the win in that tournament to somebody else. Very dramatic moment. He was in the airplane, he was winning, but the connection failed. Yeah, lots of action, not only on the board. Let's move on to Timofeyev and Giga Kuparadze. Christopher Yu looked very good, so I decided to move on. Who's better and why? White seems to have a pawn up and 2 weak pawns to play against. So it seems that white has the potential to be at least 2 pawns up in this position, in this game. So I'd say Timofeyev is doing very well against Giga Kuparadze. Yeah, it's all about making things difficult for your opponent now. How would you do that? Like you want black strategy for now is to hang on to this pawn, and this pawn could be, of course, um, yeah, an asset for black. So white is trying to get that pawn ASAP, which is happening right now. So okay, this is looking quite good for Timofeyev. Would you take the pawn? No, just push that pawn first and take the pawn later. Why not? Keep 3 pawns on the board. Would be more easy. Next game. Let's go to Dropstone and Andreka. White won a pawn, but there is some shenanigans maybe in the position. Was that pawn worth it? That's the question. Because black might get an initiative here if black can play. Well, forget about knight h5. What about knight e4? Okay, not played. Okay, not played at all. Okay, I'm not predicting the moves anymore. Yeah, still knight h5. Could win a pawn. Why won't you go for that? Ah, there's queen c8 and queen g4 protecting against that now. So that means the white is simply a full pawn up at the moment. So this is looking good for Dropstone DP. Dropstone DP. All right. Let me ask the person behind the scenes who that person actually is. And let's move on. Because this is looking good for white. Well, actually, it's David Paravian with white playing against Andreka in Russia. Okay, so this was clever. The knight is now protected. So this was the defensive maneuver. Now maybe with f5, and black can maybe start something. But yeah, the problem is g5 still runs into queen takes h5. So it does look a bit awkward, yeah, the queen. a4 maybe, but the queen is trapped. So black could maybe try, I like b4. Pawn sacrifice, but the queen has a room to go somewhere right now. c4 though, winning the pawn, this could be very interesting. So I'm wondering who will win this. Queen d4, take on c4. That was a little trick, but then the counter trick is that the bishop is pinned. Lots of counter tricks here, people. Yeah, but now there's another counter trick. So in the end, the tricks work out for Mr. David Paravian with white because after king g8, queen b8 wins the full piece and white is winning. Well played. Moving on. 12 team from Canada playing against Seaman Kani. Okay, Andrejka is actually Asipenko, I just heard. Okay, so those are some famous names participating. Yeah, now a8 simply should win. Even with 1 second on the clock. I mean, you do have got some potential to maybe create a mouse slip for your opponent, but it should be over this. So Seaman Kanin should be winning against 12 team. And there we go. Who shall we look at? Let's go to Benjamin Bock, streamer, against Nitzan Steinberg. Steinberg, I believe, is actually the son of a coach of a friend of mine. Yeah. That's a long distance relationship, if you call that. Yeah, the coach of a friend of mine. So I know him via more or less. This is the son, I believe, and doing good. Holding GM Benjamin Bock to a draw. So we might have, or it might actually be the actual Grandmaster. Okay, I'm looking like a fool here, ain't I? Yeah. Let's move on. I don't know. So moving on. Might also be the actual Grandmaster, of course. Maybe he just has a picture of his kid on there. Okay, let's move on to Becca. Okay, who's winning and why? Chat, you tell me who's winning and why. It's not hard. Who's winning and why? Tell me. Nobody will tell me? Okay, it's black. Black is a queen up. Let's move on. Okay. Rodchenko. White's winning. Oh, We got some trolls in the chat. Look at that. Okay. Oh, that's a nice mate, actually. Okay, we're moving on to round 7, everybody. Yeah, pawns could potentially become queens, obviously. But okay, I'll update the standings so you guys can see who is in the lead right now. We've got Hikaru. We've got, let's take a look. It needs to update for me as well. Christopher Yu from Sao Tome. Sergei Sigaliko from Belarus. 12 from Canada. And Dropstone from Russia, which is David Paravian. Those are the 5 people with 6 out of 6. And there are still a bunch of people with 5.5 as well. Okay, the games have started. And of course, let's start with the top match, which is Hikaru versus 12 team. And Hikaru is actually being countered by White's color setup, more or less. I don't know if this is this time, or actually, you could also call it a Sukatort variation, I believe. Yeah, so the master of the color is getting countered by his own opening. That's interesting. I wonder if Hikaru is feeling great about this. 94, I really like that. If knight takes, then d takes, creates some pressure. Also, queen g5 ideas are potentially on the cards now. In the cards now, not on the cards. On the board, in the cards. That's English, I think. There you go. Yeah, so I think black is doing all right here. I think white needs to somehow prevent queen g5. Knight f3 makes a lot of sense, therefore. So yeah, who's better and why? That's the question. I mean, white technically has the better pawn structure, but if you take here, the pawn structure is not that bad for black. Queen e6, very nice move with the move queen g6 in mind. Trying to create some attacking chances here. So Hikaru is playing this very tactically. Very aggressively, you could also say. So yeah, who's better and why? I like Hikaru's position. It seems like he's going to get the initiative here. And the initiative is huge in blitz games. I have that from personal experience. Okay, let's move on to Christopher Yu, the other top match from Sao Tome. I cannot repeat that too much. He's from Sao Tome, not from the States. Look at his flag. Okay, so white has a very open king, but is a pawn up. Is the pawn worth it? That's the question. If white can castle, yes. If white can't castle, no. That's my train of thought here, but how are you going to castle? Because after queen d2, black can play knight f3 or bishop g4, once again preventing the castling. So yeah, white might be better here, but he has a big problem, which is the king. Where is it gonna go? Black does have an awkward knight on a5. It cannot really go anywhere. Ideally, it wants to be placed on, well, let's say f3, for example. Maybe more in the center. Knights on the dim are a little rim. No, knights on the rim are a little dim. Yeah, speaking is hard sometimes. Okay, don't you dare say something about that, okay, chat? Okay. Anyway, knight d6. There are some tactics with bishop h3 perhaps, but after queen f7 there's a counter attack on f2. So I'm wondering how white's going to solve the problem of the king. Like, if h6, the bishop has to go back to d2. One asset white has, maybe c3, queen c2, and long castle. That might be the way to go. That might be a good thing to do. Okay, so let's move on. We got more games. I would say Christopher Yu is in the driver's seat because he has more time. He has 1 minute up, and you get only 1 second counter. Counter? I don't want to order something at the counter. I want to talk about increments. 1 second increment. You get only. So white is better. Although he does have some problems over the board, of course. Okay, moving right along. Yes, let's take a look at Alexander Fear with 5 out of 6, so he's still in the running. So yeah, keep this in mind, guys. The rule of thumb about the prizes is that you need to get 9 points to be certain of a prize, and 8.5 you might get a prize. So you can only drop 2.5 points in total in 11 rounds. All right. Who's better and why? It seems like White has sacrificed a piece for 2 pawns, but he's going to get an attack going. And if the rook moves, there is also queen takes e6. Check. But doesn't rook ad1 simply win the piece? Yeah, this is over after rook takes. Well, first queen takes. Actually, it's mate already. Yeah, now takes. And Alexander Fear is winning. Yeah, Alexander Fear is a teammate of mine, so I'm very happy to see him do well. 6 out of 7, doing good. Doing well. Doing good. Doing well. I don't know. Let's go to Sergey Sigalko. He's the final player with 6 out of 6. So let's take a look how he's doing. He's a pawn up, but has a weak king. Pawns are advanced, active pieces though. I would say the pawn is worth it. Yeah, after a move like 95, there are no threats in the position. So I would say, also notice that the bishop is covering the rook on h8, so there are no shenanigans over that file. He's very low on time though. He has 5 seconds left, while Timofeyev has 23 seconds left. So it's hard to judge this actually. b4, 4 seconds left. I would say black has a really good chance to win this, if he keeps playing fast. Because, okay, now the position is simplified. White has some easy moves to play. Just push those pawns, baby. And, okay, taking, if you don't know what to do, take first, think later. Queen c6. Okay, but black has everything under control now. Ah, this is a blunder. Now black wins the pawn. Black is in the driver's seat. Black's going to win. The driver's seat is actually a song from the 80s, actually. Okay, that's a useless fact. Maybe I did have too much coffee. I do take a look at the chat once again. Okay. Tricks. King takes. Rook f8. f2. King c6. Black still... I wonder if this rook ending is winning. I don't think so, actually. No, it's not. Both players are down. Yeah, it's a draw. Let's move along. So, Sigalko not losing the game. But yeah, he was in Dire Straits. They also have good songs, Dire Straits. Think about that one. Okay. Let's take a look at apparently Dennis Wagner with the white pieces, playing against Onishuk. I tend to disagree. I think this is Dimitri Kolars. No, he also has a different username. Okay, anyway, Dennis Wagner was being said. And, okay, white wins the pawn, but the knight is trapped there. Ah, okay, but he's just in time to play h4. No, why don't you take the pawn? Ah, because the king traps the bishop. That was very instructive, actually. And white won on time. It doesn't matter what happens on the board. Time is of the essence in the quick game Title Tuesday chess. All right, let's move along. Rodal Kilar won his game convincingly against JC Barra. And there you go. Chess.com says it's Dennis Wagner Roland. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Best mod in the world. Super Ginger. Yeah, by the way, a little shout out to the mods. You don't know how much work they do behind the scenes. So let's put them in the sunlight once in a while. Super Ginger GM, thank you so much for being a mod. And for every mod out there, thank you so much. Thanks for the amazing work. Okay, moving right along. So Dennis Wagner won on time. Yep, but we're moving right along. Let's go to Van der Rijn, who doesn't have the best time. He already lost 2 points. in the title Tuesday. He's on 6 out of 7, I think. Oh no, he's on 5. Yeah, he's on. Wait, he's on 6 out of 7. That's not bad. That's 1 point down, actually. Yeah, so he's still firmly in the race. Shimanov, my nemesis, who won against me in the World Cup qualifier. He won on time. So yeah, I played against the brilliant. I lost against a brilliant player. Yep. So no personal interest here. I hope he doesn't do well. Or he does. I don't know. Let's see. Alexander Moskalenko lost on time against Alexei Shimanov. Okay. Let's try to update the games. Yeah, let's see if there's still something going on. Pavel Tregubov. Oh, this is cool. We're gonna show you guys how to win a knight versus bishop endgame. Yeah, he's doing the W thing, or in this case, like this. Closing down the king's box. Okay, not the cleanest way to play. Yeah, the king can go here now. So now you move the knight over there. Yeah, king f6. Closing the box. Closing the box. Now time to reroute the knight here. Or like this. That's fine. Don't play knight f6. Bishop there. King h8. Check and mate. Okay. Tregubov knows the knight and bishop endgame. So this is how you do it. You make a W. And then you make the box smaller. That was a good final round. So, okay, final game. So let's update the standings, everyone. You might already have a clue who is in the lead right now. I need to do this, actually. And this. Yeah, I'm not a computer wizard, guys. So luckily I have people behind the scenes who are helping me. So, yep. Not right now. Now this is my full show, so I can say whatever I want. I am the total boss here. Yep. Call me Boss Roland from now on. Okay, enough jokes. Let's take a look at the standings. After this round, we've got a small break. And we are going into the final 3 rounds to determine who will be the winner of the title Tuesday. 2 players in the lead, which are Hikaru and Christopher Yu. And right behind them are Sergei Sigalko with 6.5 points, Alex Shimanov with 6.5 points, and then a bunch of people with 6 out of 7. So like I said, if you want to win the tournament, you have to at least get 9 points out of 11. Okay, let's take a look at the games. The big match, Hikaru versus Christopher Yu from Sao Tome. Yep. Apparently. And okay, white's once again put the bishop on b2. Might have been a Sukatso system once again. White nicely rerouting the knight here, but black can counter that by putting a knight on c4. I'm not too sure who's better and why. I would say black, because the knight is firmly located on c4. And it cannot be contested there for a while. While if the knight comes to c5, it can be contested by the other knight. So I would say black might be a bit better, but okay, here... White can play something like a4 maybe at some point. Not right now, because b4 is a good counter. Okay, I'm predicting moves, but I'm also... Okay, knight b1, knight's rerouting to b3. Knight e4. It's a tense game. I don't know who's better and why. This bishop looks a bit horrid. This bishop looks a bit horrid as well. These bishops look okay. The knight coming to c4. That looks really beautiful, actually. Yeah, knights on the rim are dim, but knights in the center are blasters. I don't know. Knights in the center are blasters. Let's get an emote rolling, shall we? Okay. Yeah, knight on c4. Because of this knight, I think black's better. Yeah, black has the potential pawn breaks, maybe. Black has got more space. But for the first time in this tournament, I believe, Christopher Yu is down on time. For the first time. Yeah, and Hikaru, more or less by a miracle, still has 7 out of 7. He was worse in 3 games, I believe, but still managed to. Yeah, I'm gonna call him the sec. Oh, that's not good. Why do I do that again? Okay, stop it. Yeah, and yeah, the Secretary of Defense. Oh, I'm having fun with myself. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Black is looking good, but the question is how do you continue here, yeah? Like rerouting the bishop maybe to f5 is a good idea. This bishop looks a bit horrid, so you want to maybe move the bishop around. Otherwise, what else can you do? Yeah, put the rooks on the a file a little. Yeah, I would reroute the bishop, I think. Or yeah, here you can also go there. Oh, Gordy, don't take it the wrong way. How dare you? How dare you? Okay, bishop on c4, bishop on f1. Okay, but now if the knight cannot be contested, the knight's looking super solid here. So yeah, but okay, white will not take, rook c1. Hikaru is doing alright, and he has 1 minute more on the clock, so I would say Hikaru is doing more than alright. He's probably better. This is a good move though. a5. Yeah, if queen takes, rook takes, no worries. Yeah, a5. I really like Hikaru's position suddenly. Hikaru really is in the driver's seat right now. Weak pawn cannot be protected by the bishop, which once again does not look so great. And yeah, I think white's just going to start piling on the pressure on the c pawn. Still takes a while though. Queen's off the board. That's interesting. That's probably a good decision. You can play rook ec2 and then get the king in there. But yeah, if the queen stays here, it's harder to maybe e4 now. Yeah. Maybe e4. What do you guys think? I think e4 looks really good. You want to have some sort of a break somewhere. Yeah. I think this would be good. And now, but okay, after rook ac8, maybe a move like d5 is now possible to start attacking the pawn here. Okay, but white's taking his time. This is really looking like a good position for white. Queen b5, good move though. Looking good, but look at the time. Look at the time. These are the 2 leaders in the tournament so far. So we're sticking with this game for now. And okay, after queen a4, knight was attacked, so white prevents it very nicely. But yeah, white has no problems. White has got threats, h5, d5, mate potentials. White is looking really good here. I would hate to be in black's position here. h5, ooh, but now this could be a queen trade. Did you want to do that, white? I mean, you can play king g2 and rook h1. Or like this. This is cute too. Rook takes b4, c takes, rook takes c8. Yeah, I think Hikaru is gonna win, not only by position, but only by time. Look at the difference. 1 minute versus 3 seconds. This should be over. Yeah. All right, in that case, let's move on to the next game, which is, of course, the second big clash, Shimanov versus Hikaru. Also, time scramble. 2 seconds versus 19. Who's better and why in this position? Hard to say. This rook looks really solid here. White has the only break in the position, and then just when I was saying that, black has a break. But okay, now there were weak black squares. I think black is now good. Black won a pawn. Black is looking good suddenly. Some tricks. Some tricks. Queen g1 I would play. Yeah, queen g1 just to go for the mate. But okay, now queen g1. Yeah, there you go. Ha! This commentator is predicting everything, and black won. So Hikaru is firmly behind the leaders at the moment, with 7.5 out of 8, doing splendidly. Let's move on to the other games now. I'll update the standings right now, by the way, because how do we do that again? Oh, yeah, like this. Back. Very good. So what's the updates? Let me check. Hikaru won, no surprise there. Sigalko in second. Crystal View still has got a good chance. Like I said, you need to have 9 points at least to win a prize. So that means 2 losses throughout the whole tournament and you will be good. So Kutsubov still has a chance if he wins all the games. 8.5 could be still a prize. Could be still a prize. But it's risky. You never know. Robstone won, 12-teen won. Yep. The games are ending, everyone. So I'm gonna go to a short break. Yeah, after round 8, the final pairings are being put by the people behind the scenes. And of course, the players also get 5 minutes rest. And yeah, we will be back in a few minutes, everybody, with more Title Tuesday with the final games. So don't go anywhere. 5 minutes, don't walk the dog. You don't have time for that, but you can grab a drink. You can get some popcorn if you like, or you can listen to the beautiful music and the ads that I'm going to run right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello, everyone, and we are back, of course, with the final 3 rounds of Title Tuesday. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. So, if you just tuned in, if you didn't know what just happened the 8 rounds before, you can see the standings. Hikaru is on 8 out of 8 points, so he's firmly in the lead, followed by Zigalko on the second place, and then there are a few people with 7 out of 8. So let me remind everyone what it's all about. So the Tournament Title Tuesday is actually a weekly event. It happens every week. And here you go. It's an 11 round Swiss every Tuesday at 10 a.m. PDT time or 19 CEST time. Time control 3 minutes with 1 second increments, which means that it's harder to get flagged with that, but still time is a huge factor in these games. The payout is based on Chess.com tiebreaks, which means that the prizes, and here you go, could be shared. So the first place is $750, the second place is $400, the third place is $150, fourth place $100, best female gets $100, and the best stream also gets $100. Like I said, not too shabby for 2 days, 2 hours of chess. There we go. Let's dive into the last 3 rounds. 11 rounds, so only 3 rounds to go. And let's, of course, take a look at how Hikaru versus Sigalko is doing. Okay, already a pawn sacrifice in the making. Sigalko putting some wood on the fire. Smoke on the fire? What's the saying again? I don't know. But Hikaru responding in turn with active play. Yeah, one thing that I've definitely noticed in Title Tuesdays is that if you uh, lose the initiative, it's going to be a lot harder to play the game. So Hikaru, above anything else, tries to keep the initiative, but after taking king takes, black does have 2 pawns for the 2 pieces. So, I mean, and the 2 pieces could actually be better in the long run, but 2 pawns is 2 pawns. So, yeah, h6, lovely move to prevent all sorts of tricks and shenanigans from white. But yeah, white is going to keep on piling the pressure with queen g3 at some point. So what black wants to do is black wants to trade off as many pieces so that in the end game, the 2 pawns will matter much more. Like for example, if you push this pawn forward now, that doesn't make sense because the king, of course, is still there. So trade off queens, trade off rooks, then suddenly these pawns can start working together. That's what black needs to do here. King h8 is nicely preventing all the tactics in the position. So I wonder what's going to happen. White decides to develop, get the rook in. Yeah, what's black going to do? Like 97 makes sense. Yeah, there you go. I'm predicting Hikaru games. Woohoo, yay me. Okay, let's go. Knight takes. If black's exchanges light pieces, that's also good, of course. The more pieces off the board, the better it is for black. The more the pawns are worth. All right, so looking good for. We'll get back to this game. Don't worry, guys. But there are some other games as well. Of course, I'm very curious to see Christopher Yu once again from Sao Tome. Yep. And yeah, who's better and why? Well, the pieces are off the board, so counterplay throughout the isolated pawn is not really going to happen, I'd say. Just, well, how exactly do you defend against this? Maybe you're. Actually, black does have some counterplay. Maybe black is okay here. But yeah, you need counterplay. Otherwise, you just have the worst pawn structure. So you looking good. What looks okay for black, I would say. This is still an interesting battle. Yeah, rook c2. Now black has got some counterplay over the c file, at the very least. So yeah, Christopher Yu against Dredge looks like it's going to be an interesting game. I wonder who's better and why. But yeah, we'll have to see after the exchanges occur. Let's move on. Let's go to Andreka and Ostrovsky. This looks like a Scottish opening, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, black has a slightly awkward pawn structure, but then again, the pawn is nicely controlled by the pawn on a5. So I don't know who's actually better here. Might be black. If the knight goes away, black can sort of create an initiative with f4. Knight can jump to c5 as well. I think I would pick black here. Yeah, for sure. I think Ostrovsky is having a good time with the black piece. But okay, we need to return, of course, to the match of this round, which is Sigalko versus Hikaru. Let's take a look at how this is going. Okay. This looks really good for white suddenly. So you want to trade off pieces, but if you can keep control of the pawns, this pawn keeps control over, no, not that pawn, of the march of the center pawns. But there's also an initiative going. Like I said, guys, if you have the initiative, you've got basically a pawn or two. That's how much that's worth. But okay, queen on h7, Hikaru playing ultra solid here, playing against all the tricks. Yeah, it's hard to say how to continue with black here, but maybe c6, d5 at some point. But yeah, I mean, also the time difference, of course. Hikaru has h5. Okay, it makes sure that the knight cannot take. Oh, actually, that was well played. After f5, it is black who's in control. 94, quickly played. Okay, it's not over yet. Tactics everywhere. But 46 seconds versus 7. That's the big difference here. Hikaru is playing like a madman. So quick. So well. Look at this. The rook is trapped. The knight is trapped. Suddenly Hikaru is going to win. And like I said, if you get to 9 points, you are certain to get a prize. And Hikaru has got already 9 out of 9 points. Incredible. Okay, let's quickly move on to the other games that are going on. So let's take a look at the German battle. Rasmus Vanen with white against the Chess DJW, which is Dennis Wagner. I'm listening to you, Super Ginger. And yeah, black is a full piece up, so this should be over. Is it interesting to watch? Yeah, exchanging queens is good too. So I say let's move on. I think Chess DJW or Dennis Wagner is going to win this one. Let's take a look at Penguin GM and Dropstone. Looks also over, I would say. Dropstone has got a full piece up, which is a bishop actually. Now it's going, what? Okay, it's not so easy to convert this. If white keeps control over the dark squares, it could still be a draw, but okay. Black should be winning, but it's not so easy as it looks. Yeah, bishop d3, I suppose, at some point. But yeah, white wants to trade off all the pawns, but black's going to play c5, and black should win this. Yeah, a bishop versus a king is mate. That's winning for black. Ooh, but c3. Okay, but now it's a draw. Now it's a draw. Just move the bishop around. Yeah, like you can even maybe, yeah, I don't know. Now it's a draw suddenly. Okay, he gave up the one asset that he had to win this. I think he was just playing for a dirty mate trick, but which is allowed, of course. But yeah. Okay, they're both hoping for a mouse slip. Like you could still win this, of course. Yeah, this could be a game that will last 15 more moves, maybe even 100, because it might take some time to win one of these pawns. Okay. Yeah. Strange decision to give up his only pawn by Dropstone, but I think it was okay, and a draw. Let's move on. Yeah, folks, so Hikaru on 9 out of 9. He's a madman. He really is brilliant in this type of setting. And actually, Andrejka won against Alex Ostrovsky. If I'm not mistaken, Andrejka is Asipenko. Mr. Asipenko, the talent 2700 player from Russia, is doing splendidly with 8 out of 9. Okay, the games are almost done. We've got one game left, and actually it's over. So we're moving on to round 10. Moving on to round 10. Let me update the standings for you guys. Here you go. So Hikaru on 9 out of 9, followed by 3 people with 8 out of 9. And then still a few people with 7.5 out of 9. Hikaru, Christopher Yu. Christopher Yu from Sao Tome is keep saying that. Yeah, but he's of course from the States. The talent from the States. If I'm not mistaken, he's 13 years old only. So this is huge for Christopher Yu. He has a bright future ahead of him for sure. Okay, let's see if the games are already started. Yes, they have started, but I can't get in there just yet. I'll get in there as soon as I can. Okay, let's stick with Hikaru. Hikaru apparently has to play against Andreka. So here we go. We've got a quiet Italian game for once. So Hikaru switched off from the Sukatort variation and is playing against Asipenko. Yeah, it's an interesting situation for him. Would he go for the draw here, or does he want to win? Because Asipenko is no pancake. That's so Dutch, by the way. It's no pancake. Yeah, that's Dutch. Yeah, he's not too shabby. Let's put it like that. So Hikaru might think, okay, draw is not that bad against Asipenko, and then I'll be one step closer to the end victory. I got a Linkin Park song in my head for some reason. Yeah, but okay, knight a5. What's going on here? Symmetrical position. White's got the normal knight f1, knight g3 set up now. Probably an a4 move will come at some point to try and create something. Yeah, like I said, b4, a4 is coming. White might create something like that, but black is super solid. Knight's coming to d6 maybe. I don't know which player I would rather be. I think I like, yeah, with c5, maybe black, but after a4, maybe white. I mean, the bishop is looking a little bit dull against the a5 pawn, so maybe I would pick white, but it's very close. I don't think anybody is that much better here. Okay, moving on. Christopher Yu from Sao Tome, playing against, of course, Miss Hanek, Mr. Alexei Sarana from Russia. Also a huge talent, so this is basically a talent clash. Both players are under, what is it, under 20 years old. Black has potential, white's got potential. This could be a very interesting game, actually. Yeah, this could be a really interesting game. Actually, I'm going to close off some games. I have a lot of games open right now. Okay. G5 played. Not sure if I like that. Now it's harder to push pawns forward. Might be good still. Like, okay, play shifts towards the center now for some reason. White has switched it up. White's going for the center attack. Like, if d4, queen c6 could be interesting. Yeah. Well, I think white has the initiative right now. But okay. Christopher Yu has 20 seconds less than his opponent. So, with that in mind, I still prefer black, I would say. d4 played. Okay, queen c6 now, I suppose, just to try and go for the tactic. Actually, bishop f5 is an easy counter. Yeah, the trick is that if you take on c6, bishop takes c6, the rook is attacked, and it's defending e7, which is really awkward. So, but after queen c6, black simply has bishop f5, and no worries. So I think black is fine. Yeah, more than fine. 40 seconds more than Christopher. Okay, let's quickly switch back to Hikaru. Let's see how he's doing. Not much going on. Still symmetrical position. No attacking chances for either player. So I'm expecting this to become a draw, though Hikaru is still firmly up on the clock. Let's go back to Christopher Yu. Queen c6 played. Queen d6. Also a very creative way of defending. But still, yeah, rook e5. There might be some. White has got the initiative for sure here. The e-file is the only thing that white has, but it's something. It's something. If someone is better, it's white for sure. Bishop d6, maybe. Yeah, rook d5. Look at that. You're threatening bishop a5, winning once again in exchange. So black needs to move the bishop away. Bishop c7 and bishop f8. Bishop c7, there's rook takes c5, so bishop f8 looks like the only move. Why am I talking so fast? I didn't drink any coffee the past 2 hours. Okay, I'll shut up. Yes, I'll shut up. Okay. Bishop h5 is the computer suggestion. Maybe bishop a5 and then bishop f3 is the counter idea. I don't know. Looks horrible, actually. Okay, white is black is thinking for some time now. f5. Holy moly. Okay. Okay. Ooh, I missed that. Bishop takes f4. Ay. So bishop a5 looked like he was winning the exchange, but it actually loses a few pawns. Or one. Only one, because this is with check. But yeah, now tides have turned. It's Alexei Serrano who's in the driver's seat now. He's going to be a full pawn up after bishop takes g5. But he goes here. Why are you so fancy? Ah, okay. King in the center, so if the rooks get exchanged, the king can gobble up those pawns with quite ease. So, good rook is worth more than a pawn, he says. I totally agree. I think black is going to win. Let's quickly jump back to Hikaru for 1 second. Not one, maybe more. Ooh, actually, black is winning a pawn, but white is winning back the pawn. What's happening here? Some exchange is not clear who's better. White has the better bishop, more or less. Not too much going on. Okay, I'd say it's still within margin. Yeah, but Hikaru might actually play this for a win. He has 30 seconds more as well, so... Yeah, c4 is a weakness, but how you're ever going to get... Oh, that's a nice move. Trying to create a pass pawn on the other side. Hikaru might win this as well. King e3, f4, maybe? Okay. And 14 seconds versus 44. King is looking so well. Guys, I think Hikaru is going to get 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Amazing. Crystal for you is down on 1 second. Yeah, what do you do though? You want to gobble up this pawn? Oh no, now you can take this guy. Yeah. It's over, guys. Hikaru is going to be a 10 out of 10. So I'm going to switch over to the Crystal for you game, which is... actually... Also looking over. Just rook moves, king to c4, and you win. Yeah. 1 second on the clock as well. Yeah, this is over. So, Hikaru, 10 out of 10. Miss Hanik, Alexei Sarana. It's going to be on 8.5 out of 10. Can't catch Hikaru anymore. But still is looking good for a prize. Let's take a look. A draw between Penguin GM and Chess DJW. So I think we already have a winner on our hands. Let me update the standings. How do we do that again? I like this. Yep, right. Here we are. The standings. With 10 out of 10, Hikaru Nakamura. Wait, why didn't it update? I didn't win just yet. Okay, but he's going to win. 8.5 out of 10, Miss Hanik from Russia, Alexei Serrana. Actually, let's go back to that game real quick. Yeah, 2 pawns, this should be over. And Sigoko, then also an 8.5 out of 10, Dropstone as well. Chess Day DJW as well. Dennis Wagner. Alexei Shimanov as well. And Andreka is on 8 out of 9. So let's check his game. Oh, that's of course Hikaru's game. So he will stay on 8 out of 10. And with that, everybody, we've got a winner in the tournament. Mr. Hikaru Nakamura has won the tournament with 1 round to spare by beating all his opponents. Congratulations to Hikaru Nakamura. Yeah, you wouldn't say it was smooth sailing if you saw the first few rounds because he had a few losing positions. But yeah, well done. Of course, it's not all about winning positions. It's sometimes even more about time and practicality. Okay. Yeah, I'll update the standings once more to see the confirmation. As you guys can see, Hikaru 10 out of 10. Lots of SB points. And he's the winner. But it's not over. We still got the second, third, fourth prize to give away. And yeah, let me show you guys what we are fighting for once again. So Hikaru Nakamura, congratulations with the $750 first prize. And the rest of the field is going to fight for the second, third, fourth place, best female prize, and best stream prize. So we still have a lot of things to play for. Last round is starting, guys, so we're diving straight into the games. When they're updated. When they're updated, come on. Update. Update. Right now. Okay, please. Update. Okay. Then let's move on to Snowlord against Becca. Does he have the Lord with him? Snowlord. Let's see. Or is Becca gonna say, I reckon I'm gonna... I don't know, I don't have a joke with Becca. So, I like Black though. Black has a good bishop. White has got a nice square on f5 though, and maybe with g3, f4, White can more or less contest the dark squares a little bit. But yeah, the bishop looks much stronger than this guy. Look, it's got some juicy file diagonal to work with. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I do have to update, unfortunately. Yeah. All right, hopefully the games are now in. Yep, there we go. Here we have it. Okay. So Hikaru's playing his last round against Alexei Sarana. That's something you didn't want if you were Sarana. So he once again went for the c6 modern variation, which is very hard to play from White. He also has got the center more or less nullified. Look at those knights. Those horses look amazing. But yeah, how to continue? Black doesn't really have a break. White also doesn't really have a break. So you could maybe start targeting this guy, but it's gonna be a long grind for Mr. Title Chess or Secretary of Defense. Yeah. Okay, this is a plan you see very often. Yeah, the knight comes to f3, then takes to h4. But yeah, let's focus on the second prize game, guys, because Hikaru is of course going to win, and Alexei Sarana has to get a good result here to win a prize as well. Let's go to Sigalko against Chess Day W, Dennis Wagner. He's got a dream position. This is what they call good knight, bad bishop position. Look at that knight. Isn't it amazing? Look at that bishop. That isn't amazing. Yep. The question is, how does White continue? The idea is you go very slowly, try to improve, slowly put on the pressure, and you win. That's the idea. Okay, moving on. Sigalko going strong. Board 3 is Dropstone, which is David Paravian, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm not mistaken, yep. And against Alex Shimanov. Who is better and why? Shimanov has got some pressure against the king, but Black is going to play f3 soon. So this looks nice and good, but okay, Rook fc1. Black is to move, so Rook b8, and then f3. I think Black is actually in the driver's seat here. The bishop doesn't do much. If it was here, it could be interesting, but it's nicely blocked. This bishop is blocked. The knight is blocked. Can't go anywhere. I think I prefer Black, even though the king is looking pretty weird on d7. But yeah, Black is looking good. Dropstone is looking good. Okay, but the question is, of course, how to continue. Okay, yeah, if you take, you could maybe put a knight on f4, for example. You can put a knight on d4 maybe at some point. Yeah, I'm wondering how to continue. This is a really interesting game. And yeah, actually, we've got a second place result, guys. Sergei Sigalko is confirmed to be second place. He won with a nice mate on d6 against Dennis Wagner. So Zigauko is confirmed second. Let's take a look at Shimanov right now. I'll update the standings. Give me 1 second. Here we go. And let's stick to this game for now, because it looks really interesting. Taking on b6 helps the pawn structure. Yeah, it's all about the initiative. White needs to get a rook in to get some initiative going, but otherwise, black seems to do okay. Taking here could be good, but yeah, after king takes, how do you continue? It's not so easy to say who's better here. I would say black, but still. Well, actually, I don't agree with that queen trade. Now after g takes, king goes. Bishop h3. Okay, no, does work. Okay, it might be okay. Yeah. A takes, we do have bishop a4 ideas maybe. Connected with the pin. And white has got 56 seconds up on the clock. This is looking good for Alexei Shimanov. He takes. He wins a pawn. Okay, those are some juicy pawns that I'm going to roll over the board pretty soon. Maybe rook c7. Why not? King and bishop goes. Got control over the only open file. Got two juicy pawns that are going to run over the board. Maybe even some mate potentials. Like maybe the knight can come here somehow. This is looking good for white, for sure. Let's check back to the other contester for second place. Alexei Sarana playing against Hikaru. Who's better and why? Hikaru is looking darn good once again. Yeah, rook takes, should be winning. And it's over. Hikaru winning the tournament with 11 out of 11. Come on, man. Give other people a chance. So incredibly good. He beat everyone. He's got 11 out of 11, folks. 11 out of 11. So that means that we've got two players who can still get shared seconds, which is Dropstone and Shimanov. So let's go back to that game. Let's see how they will fare. So, Shimanov was looking good, but now suddenly black has these two pawns that are going to... No, it's over the pawn. Look at the pawn. It's going to... Yeah, look. Look. The pawn. Oh, that was so nice. The pawn covered h8. The classic searching for Bobby Fischer moment. The movie, if you haven't spotted it, I can recommend it to everyone. Where the queen covers the other promotion square. The man is a beast, guys. Yeah, if we need a Mr. Beast in chess, then on Title Tuesday, it is Mr. Hikaru. Yep, Hikaru, 11 out of 11. Incredible. And this is going to be a win for Dropstone after a dramatic final game where white was doing so good. So yeah, first place, Hikaru Nakamura. Second place, Sergei Sigalko and Dropstone. Let's see if there are still some games playing. And otherwise, I'll update the standings so that you guys can have the confirmation. There you go. We got some fourth places already. Christopher Yu from Sao Tome and Andreka and GM Benjamin Bok. I like to see that. The man, you guys should definitely follow him on Twitch. Just use GM Benjamin Bok on Twitch. You'll find him. Really lovely guy to follow as well. Of course, Hikaru, probably also streaming. And yeah, but great result for Christopher Yu, the international master, 13-year-old kid from Sao Tome. He's from the States, but I'm having fun with it, so sue me. And yeah, really good result from that kid. He has got a really bright future ahead of him. So yeah. There are some games still going on, so let's finish up the event. We got Kazakh Fighter. And actually, I am a little curious, yeah, if there are some games left about the prizes. I don't think so. So yeah, this looks winning for white, for black, apologies. And it's over. Okay, this is a draw. Yeah, the wrong bishop. There you go. The machine. Oh, it's dang it. Shit. I clicked away the final standings, everyone. Good job, Mr. Caster. Okay. Anyway, we still have the standings right below the camera. So the event is over. All the games are finished. Winner of the Title Tuesday on the 17th of August is Hikaru Nakamura with 11 out of 11. Like I said, the man is a beast. Second place, Sergei Sigalko and Dropstones. And fourth place is Christopher Yu, shared fourth with Andrejka and GM Bok. Congratulations to those players. The prize will, of course, be, how do you say, given to them. Proper English. And everyone, that was the event. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like to see more of me, I do stream on Twitch sometimes, as you can see right below the camera. GM Roland, that's my Twitch name, so do give me a follow if you like the content here, of course. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like, a follow if you didn't already do that to the Chess.com channel. And that's it. See you guys on another day. Thank you for watching and have a good one. See you guys.